So that's the plan.
Okay. So while I'm here, there's also two more things I can mention.
Yeah.
And the first one is you've been busy, as we can see, doing a bit of work on the turbo on the supercharged bike.
Yep.
Got a tank off, and one thing you've done is you've changed the twin headlamps.
Yeah, they were halogen H4 bulbs, twin bulbs.
Yeah.
And I noticed, oh God, must be 4 or 5 years ago when I last rode it. I was coming home one night and it was going dark, and I switched it to I switched the lights on. I had it on dip beam.
Yeah.
And the bike started to misfire slightly.
Right.
And I'm riding along, and I switched the lights back to side lights, and immediately the bike picked up and ran great.
It's like the battery went very
well. If you think about it, it's a 1970s alternator, but this has got 4 ignition coils, twin headlights, halogen headlights, which the original bike never had.
An ECU, a big
ECU under
behind
there.
Here,
So the
lots
electrical
of
system's under quite a lot of load.
Yes.
I have put a modern set of windings on this, and I think it was slightly more output than original.
Yes.
But the idea is to reduce the load on the electrical system by putting LED bulbs everywhere.
And they are the same sort of lights that Drew's having on this bike.
Yeah, Drew had bought 2 sets of lights for this, 2 twin sets of lights, because he wanted 3,
oh dear.
triangle.
No, bad idea, Drew. Don't do that.
I didn't like the idea.
No.
He agreed in the end.
So you had
we
2 spare.
We had a spare set of lights.
Yeah. So
I'm sat here the other day, and
you've now snapped in for this.
I took my headlights off and I stripped and took the reflectors out, the H4 bulbs.
Oh, okay. So it's just
I fitted the modern.
And they fitted straight in.
Yeah, fitted straight in, because these are made by the same firm.
Okay, so they're original, and it's just the internals.
Yeah, it's just this reflector part.
Sort of eyeball.
So if I turn the ignition on now, if you stand where I am,
I'll stand where you are. Go on then. Will they all light up?
I've turned the ignition on. Fuel pump's disconnected.
Yeah.
Right, just turn them lights on.
Yeah, go on.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, pretty bright.
Pretty bright for side lights.
Yeah. Big eyeballs. Yeah.
Yeah. So now
the demand's very reduced.
When I had the H4 lights on,
if
you look here carefully, you can see there's a relay there, and there's one on the other side, and they were I had a power supply from the battery through a relay to power up the H4 bulbs.
Right.
I don't need that now,
because these don't demand as much power.
Because these LED headlights only a fraction of the power.
Yeah.
So I can take all these relays off and alter the wiring to suit the.
And a second thing you've done is you've removed the injectors.
Yeah, the fuel rail's all loose. I've removed the injectors.
And now they're on the bench.
They're on the bench there.
All leveled up, and you want them to be tested.
Yeah.
Make sure they're working okay.
Yeah, it's not running right between sort of about 1800 RPM and about 2800.
Yeah, we did a series of testing videos last summer.
That's right. When I rode it, it was that rev range where it wasn't right.
Well, it wasn't happy.
It wasn't happy. And when I built this bike, I did my calculations for the flow rates on the injectors.
Yeah.
And I found out that the injectors were the right size I needed, were fitted in Saab 900 cars. So I bought a set of 4. And some years ago, it ran great with the old supercharger on it. And what I noticed was that with this setup, on one occasion it started to run lean on number 2.
Right. Okay.
So what I did was I replaced the injector with a brand new one.
Yeah. We'll do that.
And it turned out it wasn't the injector. I think it was just a dry joint on one of the pins.
Yeah, bad connection.
Yeah. Anyway, fast forward to when we were setting it up on the testing videos. I kept getting wrong readings on the air fuel ratio gauge, and that lambda sensor is actually connected to number 4 pipe.
Right.
And I thought, well, if I've got a bad injector in number 4, that might be giving me the wrong readings. So I swapped the new injector, which is this one. You can see the colour difference.
Yeah.
Slightly lighter.
Yeah.
That's the new injector. That's probably only done 100 miles.
That was on the 2.
That was on number 2. But I fitted it to number 4.
Hoping it will make a difference.
Hoping it was just a theory.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to.
No.
So anyway, I bought these second-hand years ago. The original 4 I had in.
Yeah.
Now they could have done 150,000 miles.
Yeah, you don't know, do you?
I don't know. So I can't afford new ones.
How much do they cost each?
About 50 quid each.
Okay. So you want to go somewhere who can test them and make sure they're working okay?
Yeah, it's just a theory. I'm going to take them out, check the spray pattern, check the flow rate in a jig.
Yeah.
and then.
If they're not all right, that's good. If they are okay, then it's something you can
Well, I'm rather
discount.
hoping they're not okay,
Yeah,
and because obviously then I've found the problem.
you found a possible problem.
A possible.
One of the problem. Yeah, this thing's quite complicated. It could be anything.
Well, I did find when I pulled the blow off valve off the back of the plenum chamber, when I looked in with a torch into the plenum chamber, it looked like there was a bit of fuel in the bottom of the inlet manifold, or
Right.
plenum chamber, as you call it. So I'm thinking if these are dribbling
Yeah,
and not spraying, and it's
correctly,
the
yeah.
fuel's sort of
building up.
up in the bottom of the
Which isn't good.
manifold, which is not good.
No, if it backfires, it's going to blow up in it.
Yeah, well, this is possibly why I can't set it up
Yeah,
properly, because I've got a problem with these.
So it's a question of just eliminating a potential problem.
Yes, exactly. So
Okay.
the next stage now is to find somewhere that can
Test them
test these injectors.
without costing a fortune. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that's the first thing I want to talk about very briefly, and the second thing is some good news,
Yeah.
which I think concerns the vehicle living behind here. It's all covered up. You can't see what it is. It's all covered up. It's been here a long time, and it has been featured once before, probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been left because there's been other things. But basically, this is an RD, a Yamaha RD 250 D, sort of square tanker,
Coffin tank. Yeah.
which is pretty much fully restored. except for-
I'll pull the covers off if you
Kind of,
like.
yeah, you can. I can't do it myself, but
It's probably covered in dust, but
yeah,
there you go. It's
So, there you go.
It's all there.
the engine's quite a nice engine. You've got have you got some high tech stuff or some performance tuning in there? You have got some nice pistons, haven't you? Or something?
No, it's genuine Yamaha stuff.
Right, so
The cranks on these used to have lead weights in, which used to come loose, and this has actually got a TZ crank in, which
Right,
is a
yeah, that's what I'm
slightly better design than the road crank.
okay. So
But that's it there, as you can see.
looking good.
No paintwork.
No. Now there is a tank behind here.
Yeah, that's a
Unpainted.
spare tank.
That's your spare tank.
Yeah.
Because the main tank's gone off paintwork along with everything else.
Yeah. It's
Now,
ready to go.
one good thing about this bike is it's got a very cool registration number. I won't tell you what it is, but I'll just say it's really cool and it suits the bike really, really well.
Yes.
And you've owned it a long time, haven't you? But I believe it was in boxes in your attic or something for many a long
Yeah,
year.
I knew the lad who bought it, brand spanking new.
Oh God! In about what 1970s?
77, 78.
Right.
Yeah, he was older than us. He was one of the oldest lads in the class
Yeah.
when we were at school together. And he bought it brand new from Dugdale's in Alvanley.
Okay.
Everybody knows Dugdale's from this area.
Okay.
And it never came out of the showroom as a standard bike. It was known as an Aaron Yamaha. And Aaron were a company that did
Is that A-double-R?
I think A-R-R-U-N.
Oh, you went okay. Before my time, sir.
And they did fiberglass fairings, seat units,
Yeah. Okay.
and it came out with clip-ons, expansion.
A bit like a sort of Dyson, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it was a race replica before race replicas were
Well,
a thing.
Okay. So he had it converted.
No, it came out of the showroom.
Oh, okay. He paid for that.
He,
Yeah.
he bought it as a race replica,
Okay.
straight out of the shop,
Right.
brand new. So it was never on the road as a standard,
Standard bike.
bike.
Okay. Cool.
He owned it for about a year, maybe 18 months, and he got T-boned into
Okay.
the side of a car, over the bonnet,
Right.
and the bike got wrote off.
Okay.
And I bought it
As a written-off bike.
as a written-off bike,
Okay.
and it stayed in various lofts and garages.
And when was that? Must have been what 1980 or something. It must be.
Yeah, about 1980.
So you've owned the bike since 1980.
Yeah.
It's been in bits.
It's actually probably the bike I've owned the longest.
Yeah.
But it was always in bits until about 10 years ago. And I
you dragged it out.
But I was busy with work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just got built at a snail's pace.
Yeah. I think I remember taking this frame to Triple S to get it powder coated.
Yes.
That was probably before COVID, I think, or around
Yeah.
about COVID time.
And everything that should be satin black is powder coated satin black.
Right.
Everything that should be gloss black is obviously powder
Powder-coated.
coated gloss
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
I've used genuine parts wherever
Wherever
I
you
can.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, just waiting for the bodywork to come back now and start bolting it all on. Oil tank here, side panel on the other side, obviously fuel tank and tailpiece. Points cover needs painting, which is missing, you can see down here.
Yeah. It's missing.
But I was going to put expansion chambers on the bike.
Yeah.
So I've managed to find a set of it took me years to find a decent set of front pipes,
Yeah.
header pipes, and I've had them re-chromed.
Yeah. I mean, you look nice. You look
You
like
do?
new. Yeah.
But the silencers are original. I've not had them re-chromed because
But you still look
I
nice.
was thinking of putting expansion chambers on it. So
But to be fair, you're not exactly knackered, are they? You look.
no, they're not knackered.
You look
They've-
pretty
they've-
good
You know, just got a bit of patina on them.
Well, just a bit.
There's a spare set there actually in that box.
in that box. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll all the spares will probably go with it when it finally
I'll
goes.
stick it on eBay. I'm sure someone will bite off you.
Yeah, I really want to ride it myself, but
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, maybe you can ride it for a few days, a few
Well,
weeks.
I'd love to at least have one ride on it.
Yeah. We'll have to go for a ride somewhere.
Definitely have one ride on it before I move it on.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's things that are happening in your shed, and this is just a nice shed. The next door, there's more things going on.
I've got a KH250 over
Oh
there.
yeah, don't mention the cage. Yeah, he's got a frame over here. He likes two strokes. I don't like two strokes, but
I like me
I know you do,
250s.
but I don't. So there's an immaculate frame.
It's all been on the
checked
jig.
over, jigged,
all been-
powder coated,
Yeah, it's all done.
and the rest of it is in boxes and bits and down here somewhere.
Yeah,
James is-
swinging arms down there somewhere.
Yeah, so that's another future project. Probably when that's finished, and also when the RD's
Yeah, there's
no longer here.
all the boxes under there, a KH250, and then there's a tank.
Yeah.
You know,
Down
so
there somewhere.
I've got the standard exhaust. I've got a 3-into-1 for it,
Okay.
so I can decide which way I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I bought some aluminium rims to put on the
wheels,
hubs.
Yeah, and I think I gave you them shocks, didn't I?
Yeah, I've got two. Actually,
They
got
were
two
spare.
pairs somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all my parts book and workshop manual and
Yeah.
an original manual, Haynes manual, and that's a parts book.
Yeah, very
Invaluable when you're doing a restoration.
Yeah. Right, well that's for a future day.
Yeah,
So in the meantime,
yeah.
I think we'll call it quits.
Too many
'cause-
bikes and not enough time.
Yeah, and not enough money. Yeah,
Well,
money and time and
it's
space.
money at the moment with me being ill.
Yeah,
you know.
for me it's time and space
Yeah.
rather than money. Anyway, on that note, we'll end it here. It's been quite a long video, longer than I thought, but that's okay. And we'll catch up in a few weeks' time.
Okay.